let's talk about 3 new President Donald Trump persuasion techniques. Now, I should preface this by saying these 3 techniques are new to me. They might not be new to you. This past weekend, with Jack Posobiec, we were signing copies of Unhumans, the book, out July 2nd. And I heard for the first time a full Trump speech live and in person. It was a cross between a Tony Robbins workshop, patriotic stand-up comedy, and a televangelist on TV. Those 3. That was the feel of it. That was the style. Now, I want to talk about those 3 techniques because they're quite fascinating and useful for you, much the same way that this book, Win Bigly, was useful for you as well. Repurposing Trump advanced hypnosis techniques. Now, the first one is he used no verbal fillers. What's a verbal filler, Joshua? That's a verbal filler. In lieu of verbal fillers, he would add a detail or reemphasize a detail, Trump would. So a normal person might say, the gentleman walked in wearing a blue suit. Let's see, what else? That's what you might say verbatim if you're trying to recall the details of a story. But Donald Trump said, almost verbatim, he said, the gentleman walked in wearing a blue suit. Beautiful blue suit. Most beautiful blue suit you've ever seen. In fact, I wondered if I could find out who his tailor was. Notice, instead of pausing and saying, like what else? Like thinking out loud and wondering if the thoughts are going to come to you, he just went with it. Fascinating. He added additional details. People make fun of him for that when you see it in print, like the transcript of it. But hearing it, it enriches the story. That's the first technique. The second technique that I noticed was he showed, not told, in stories. Now, this is similar to what you'll hear in storytelling advice when you're writing fiction. Show, don't tell, right? But the way that Trump did it is he told you about someone's personality by a physical characteristic. And he did it with enough vagueness that you could fill in the details yourself. So he would say something like, and you could see the blood rush from her face, palest face you ever saw. Right? He showed us what happened to this woman, the shock that she had. What does it mean, the palest face you've ever seen? Well, that's for you to decide, right? You get to imagine that. You get to decide that. Professional hypnotists use that kind of language when they're bringing someone into a trance and telling them stories and offering suggestions. They leave it up to the subconscious of the listener. That's fascinating stuff. Now, the other thing that I noticed that he did, which was fantastic, is he explained new topics at the absolute minimum level of understanding available to most people. So when he would explain a new technology or a trade deal or showerhead technology, he would go to the level where a child could understand it, but that's not quite it. The level of someone who knew absolutely nothing at all about the technology or the trade deal or anything with it, or the showerhead technology. I love the way he explained that. So in talking about, like, let's say, other politicians would say, they would complain about all these ESG policies and going green technologies are causing all of our useful technologies to be disrupted, and there's new regulations. We need to cut those regulations and slash it. What did I just say? You have no idea. I have no idea. But Trump talked about how it used to be when you turned on the water, you would get all that water pressure coming out. Well, now you turn it on and it's a trickle. Why is it a trickle? I made them stop at having the water trickle on my beautiful orange hair, he said. It was hilarious. He just explained to you an issue with environmental regulations around water rights, water usage, and obsolescence, and all a number of sophisticated issues by saying, I want more water pressure coming out from my shower head, as opposed to less, a trickle. He did that with other technologies and other trade deals too. He was explaining a sophisticated trade deal with Mexico, and he said, I wrote a list of 10 things we want from Mexico. They said it couldn't be done. They said it's been 25 years we've been asking for these 10 things. A child can imagine one piece of paper and a list of 10 items on it. And Mexico won't give it to us, and it's been 25 years. A child can understand that. Key point. Hypnotists understand that the subconscious mind is 5 years old. If you want to change someone's beliefs instantly and forever and drive new behaviors, speak to them like they're a child. Is Donald Trump a professional hypnotist?